welcome to this week's episode of Matador Express. I'm your host, Mike DuPont, and joining alongside me today is Drew Kohnle. Drew covers soccer for the online section of the Daily Torador. Drew, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good, Mike. Thank you for allowing me to be here with you in front of the Jones. Tech will be playing their second home game in a row on Saturday here at their Jones against the Kansas State Wildcats. Besides the actual game, what else should we be looking forward to on Saturday?
Well, Saturday's not just senior day for the Red Raiders. Tech plans to recognize more than 400 Purple Heart recipients during the game, during the Lone Survivor game, including the likes of the Lone Survivor himself, Marcus Luttrell, Tim Kingsbury, and the late Guthrie Smith will also be recognized along with their families. And if you get to the game early enough being prior to kickoff, you'll see Dana Bowman skydive into the stadium. So be on the lookout for that as well.
Sounds like a lot of important people will be on hand for this game on Saturday. Hopefully the Tech football team can put on a better performance against Kansas State, unlike what they did against Oklahoma State. So what are some improvements you see this team making for Saturday?
The Red Raiders were bitten by the injury bug pretty tough last week during their loss to Oklahoma State. Bradley Marquez, Bo Carpenter, Trey Porter, and Terrence Bullitt all suffered injuries at different parts of the game against Oklahoma State. So if those guys are able to get healthy, get back on the field, you should see significant improvements on both sides of the ball for the Red Raiders. So look out for that.
Now, while this Kansas State team started off slow to start the year, they have come on strong as of late. Who are some players this Tech team should be on the lookout for on the Wildcat roster?
You've obviously got to be on the lookout for Tyler Lockett and John Hubert. Those two guys have been on Tech Scouting Report for many years now. And if the Red Raiders are going to be successful, they're going to have to neutralize both of those guys. Lockett ranks second in receptions per game, just behind Jason Morrow, and he ranks fourth in receiving yards per game, also behind Morrow. And John Hubert, he brings a dynamic to the Kansas State offense that obviously allows them to rush the ball. They've got 5 offensive linemen all returning. They also have Daniel Sams. So if they're able, Sams, I think he ranks 5th. He actually does rank 5th in the Big 12 Conference in rushing yards, above Hubert as a quarterback, which is impressive. So if the Red Raiders are able to neutralize that rushing attack, then they'll have a pretty good chance to be successful on Saturday. We're here at the John Walker to talk a little bit about Tech soccer. While Tech football is seeking to snap a 2-game losing streak, Tech soccer is currently looking to maintain its high level of play. Drew, could you just talk a little bit about the events that have transpired during the last few weeks?
As you said, Mike, the Tech soccer team is on a roll, recently finishing up their season with a 17-1-2 overall record and a 6-0-2 record in the Big 12. That record in the Big 12 currently put them in second place overall for the season. Now, if you talk to the players, they understand that they have much greater goals in mind. They got off to a good start accomplishing those goals with a win against TCU in the Big 12 tournament on Wednesday. With the win, the Red Raiders will now take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys in the semifinal Big 12 tournament round on Friday, November the 8th.
Well, it sounds like Coach Stone knows he has a very talented team on his hands. What are some qualities that the Red Raiders possess that are going to help them in the Big 12 tournament, looking ahead the NCAA tournament as well?
The Red Raiders can really hang their hat on their defense. Keeper Victoria Essen has posted 16 shutouts on the year, and the Tech defense recently just only gave up 2 shots on goal to the TCU Horned Frogs in their matchup. Now, to go along with that great defense, there's also an excellent offense led by Janine Becky, who has 9 goals on the year. If they keep up that high level of play with that great offense and the great defense, they should be looking to compete definitely in both titles this year.
And I bet you that also set them up real nice to host their first round game in the John Walker Soccer Complex. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of Matador Express. For Drew Kohnle, I'm Mike DuPont, and we'll see you next week, Raiderland.